seeker. Welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello. Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. How's it going today, friends? If you are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Talia Joy. I am so grateful that our paths have finally crossed. Such a beautiful day. So excited you're here. In this episode, we are talking all about your natural gifts that are within you, your purpose, how you can help others with your gifts, your community, your family. If you create a business, if you already have a business, if you want to create a business, this is all the stuff we're talking about today, is really how to use your gifts to uplift the world, to help humanity, to help your community, your family, all of that. And I'm also going to talk about the possibilities and ways that we can take this and create a business from it, whether you have a gift of writing or a gift of empathy, or you're an intuitive, or you're really fascinated by a certain niche topic, or you already have a business up and going. By activating your gifts, you're going to take it all to the next level. So that's what we're talking about today. And before we dive in, if this stuff really resonates with you, especially if you already have a business or you're looking to create it, really amplify your gifts, turn them into gold, I have a free event going on next week at the time that this episode is released. And it's called Purpose Uncovered, and it's a 3-day event. I have run this event in the past and it was so freaking powerful. So I've gone over everything and updated the material, and I'm so excited to bring it to you. It's called Purpose Uncovered. It's a free event, 3 days. I'm actually going to be uploading the recordings right here to the podcast next week. So you're going to get them available here on the podcast totally for free. But if you officially register for the event, I will send you over the workbooks that include the prompts and the notes of everything we went over. And there's going to be a couple free bonuses, including a meditation and more. I'm going to leave that secret. So if you want to officially register, of course, it's free. I'll send you all the stuff to your inbox so that you can really get the most of this event. And what this event is going to do is we're going to take, it's basically everything we're talking about today, but going so much more in depth. So we're going to talk about your gifts, really why you're here. And day by day, it's all going to build on each other. So day one is all about the human gifts that you have, the human gifts that are here to help other humans. The second day is all about your soul's purpose and your soul's visions and your soul's desires. And then the third day, we bring it all together, because I truly believe that the place where we make the most impact and income and freedom for ourselves and really shine our brightest and have that fullest expression where we're helping others, but we're also, supporting ourselves and living our ideal life, that comes together when we bring all the aspects of who we are together. So it is about your gifts and your talents, but it's also that day 2 that's about the soul's desires. It's also what you see for yourself, what you would love to do, those big goals you have of maybe writing a book or hosting a retreat or something like that. We bring all of these together, and that becomes your success blueprint. When I'm working with clients, we're looking at all of that. We're looking at your gifts and talents, and then getting them out in a way that also feels incredibly aligned to your soul. So Purpose Uncovered, it's a whole vibe. If you want to officially register, get the workbooks, the free meditation, all of that, then I will pop the link below. And otherwise, the recordings will be posted here on the podcast next week. So really excited for that. It will be a live event. I'm going to go live on Instagram. So if you do sign up officially to register, you'll also get the time and place to meet me on Instagram so I can answer your questions in real time. You can feel my energy in real time, and we can go through these 3 days. Get ready with your notebook. We'll go through it, focus, really turn your gifts into gold and do this thing. So really excited for that. Check out the links in the show notes. Other than that, I wanted to say that I don't often ask for anything from you guys. This podcast is obviously free. I bring my heart and soul here, and I don't often ask for, for you to leave a review or for you to promote the show. But something that really, really helps is to subscribe in your favorite podcast app, whatever you use, whatever you're listening to right now, to actually subscribe to the show and to turn on automatic downloads. This is something that I do for all my favorite podcasts, and it really, really helps because it shows the algorithm that you're interested, that you're here, that you're listening, that you're subscribed, that you're downloading, and it really helps to boost the algorithm to get the show out to more people, because that's really why I do this. It's not just about me getting more downloads for some sort of bragging rights. This is I look at every single download as a human listening to the show and being moved by this information. And we need more people in line with their soul, in line with their gifts, in line with who they're truly meant to be, and have them able to manifest a life that lights them up. So I really look at it like that. And getting this show out to more people really, really helps. And it helps me to be able to continue to do this and do this obviously for free and really pour my heart and soul into it. So pretty please turn on your subscriptions and automatic downloads if you're willing. And if you want to do even more, always writing a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast player you listen to. It helps so much. It helps more than you think. And it's such a good practice to do to all your favorite creators, is to really take a moment to like their stuff or send a review, because it really helps us. The digital world is how things get out. And so digital numbers, it really does. It helps the algorithm. So I thank you so much in advance. So let's dive into today's content. I don't have any more foreplay for you. This is what we're diving into today. So first, I want to say that I'm an intuitive. For anyone new here, I'm an intuitive. I'm a channel. That's where my information comes from. 90% of my information comes straight from spirit and from my experience, the messages, everything I've received over time. So I just want to first say that source and spirit show me all the time that we all have natural gifts and talents within us. We all have something inside that we are good at, something that impacts others. So for some people, they have a knack for architecture, or my dad has this knack for math. I swear he can do the most complicated, maybe it's just complicated to me, equations in his mind. And I'll be like, okay, what is this? Some huge thing. If you did this every day for 3 years, and he's like, carry the one, 724,312. And I'm like, how the frig did you do that? So everybody has different gifts and talents. And us people that are empaths or sensitives, sometimes that gift is the gift of empathy, of being caring and compassionate and being a nurturer. Some people, some clients I've come into contact with are just really natural mothers and caregivers and, pillars of their community or their family with that nurturing and that love. So it could be a quote unquote hard skill that you're really good at, or it could just be part of who you are, your humor, your, eye for design, your, way of, as I said, listening or giving really great advice. These things are all natural gifts. And then of course there's things like the arts, right? You might be a singer or a painter, or, have some sort of amazing art style that comes through you. And these are all within you. And part of it is to help other humans, to help humanity. I'd like you to think about a situation where, say, we are living way back in the day or in a more tribal, simple community setting. Maybe there's only 100 people in your community or less, a very small tribe. If everybody, which is what they did and do, everybody naturally has something that comes out within them. So in a community, if it's okay, we have to make this community work, and everybody has to kind of pick a thing, there would very easily and naturally be the person who is I'll be the doctor. I'm really good at medicine. There'd be the intuitives and the quote unquote witches or the medicine men or women. There would be the police officers or the people that help keep the peace in that way. There would be teachers that come forward. I know in some tribes there are mothers who choose that role and they continue having babies, but they even breastfeed other people's babies, right? Because that's their role right now. There are the people that go out and hunt. the people that gather, the people that create the homestead, the people that are interested in different things. It's kind of like in an army, although I'm not really trying to use a war metaphor because that's weird, but everybody has their different role, right? It's in team sports. There's offense, there's defense. Everybody has their role. And if you think of team sports, people go into something like hockey, I'll say, because I'm Canadian, and they go like, I want to be defense, or I want to be goalie, or I want to be offense. And that's like naturally what comes up within them. That's what they want. Football players, there are some people that are built like linebackers and some people that are built like whatever other positions, because I don't know team sports very well. There are natural roles that come from within you. And if you're someone like me that has always felt like I want to help people, because that's a huge part of, I know you can probably relate to this. And if you can, you're definitely in the right episode. But I've always had this interest in helping others. And it was always as soon as I overcame something or moved through something, even a bit, when I realized something new, I was like, oh my God, I got to turn this around and teach it to others. So I had an eating disorder. And as I healed it myself, by learning intuitive eating and diving into it and going that way, I turned around and created a business. I already had my nutrition designation. I was a nutrition consultant. I'd already gone to school. I'd already finished all that, but I branched into intuitive eating and I created a business called Food Buddha. I've been studying law of attraction literally since I was 14. And I've always told my friends things, even at the time when I was a teenager and nobody's into that stuff and I'm all angsty, but I'm still talking about the power of your thoughts because I felt like, well, I know this, I want to teach, right? Or maybe as we're talking about gifts of empathy and sort of wisdom, maybe people come to you in your friend circle, people come to you and you love to okay, what's going on and how can I help? And that makes you feel really special or not even special in an ego way, but makes you feel like you're really helping people. And then people turn around and go wow, that's exactly what I need to hear. How do you do that, right? These are natural gifts that we have that are here to help others. And often if you're meant to be like a soulpreneur, a light worker, somebody that has a business, you just have this really deep down drive to help people learn the things that you've learned. So maybe all of a sudden nervous system stuff or inner child or energy healing comes into your world, feels like it changes your world. And you're like, oh my God, I want to help people to do that. I want to teach people about the power of your mind or the power of the chakras or the power of inner child healing. I have to. That is where we're meant to be. So coming back to what I was just saying a moment ago, in communities, there are natural gifts and talents that come up from within people. And I think that that's one disservice we do to kids nowadays is we kind of go pick something and it's got to have benefits and it has to be secure and it takes us out of our joy. And instead, maybe I would wonder what would happen if we backed up and just witnessed what are our children naturally good at. And maybe we learn to foster and nurture that instead of kind of going, well, pick something. Do you want to be a police officer? Do you want to be a teacher? Or do you want to be a fireman? Because that's literally, all you have to choose from. That's an exaggeration. But we feel this pressure to do what our parents did or to do what our parents want for us or what society thinks is a legit job instead of actually looking at what our gifts are. Because in a community, we need musicians. We need the painters. We need the basket weavers. We need the healers. We need the cop, archetype. We need all of it. All of it is important for a community to thrive. So whether your gifts are more woo-woo, more energetic, more not those quote unquote hard skills, as I was saying, they're equally as important and needed. So the next thing that I want to say, and we'll dive way deeper into this in Purpose Uncovered, but what I want to say is, deep within us, we have passions and we have talents that are in some ways just natural or innate. So I want you to start to think from your point of view, what do you feel that the world needs more of? And I say this to my entrepreneur clients, especially when they're sort of unclear on the business, what do you want to scream from the rooftops? What do you feel like, oh my goodness, if people knew this, it would change everything. So sometimes, I've had clients of all these examples I'm about to use, nutrition, right? I had one client that like, I just want to scream from the rooftops how much nutrition impacts our life. And when we're having hormonal imbalances or mood fluctuations or skin issues, like, oh my gosh, it's nutrition. Other people, even along that same line, it's like heavy metals. Oh my goodness, we all have heavy metals. When I detox, I didn't even realize. Now I see people with brain fog and oh my goodness, it's heavy metals. Or inner child healing. Oh my goodness, we have no idea how much inner child healing frees us. I know for me, forever, this hasn't changed. From the rooftops, what I want to scream is you can create any reality you choose. You are never stuck to what you think you're stuck to. Like, you are the deliberate creator. I feel like I literally just want to go on my roof and scream that. That's now what I do. That's now my zone. When I'm teaching people about intuition, or it's building a business, or it's manifestation 101, it's still coming from you are the deliberate creator. You are here for a reason. You can create the life you see in your mind's eye. That's like all I want to scream, all I want to talk about, all I want to help people with is everything in that. Like, that's why I always say, like, I help you create the life you see in your mind's eye, because people don't realize they can. People don't realize the laws of the universe. People don't realize how malleable this experience is. So what for you do you feel really passionate about? Maybe it's like if people learned the power of true self-love and what that means, or nervous system regulation, or the power of how you can succeed as a musician, or the power of being sober. Like, it could be literally anything. And I have so many beautiful clients that range from like intuitive channels to helping others to clear stuck emotions. I've had clients in the very recent, even few months, psychologists, therapists, clients that own gyms, clients that do affiliate marketing. There's so many different clients I've worked with because so many of them have had businesses. And the truth is the same. You have gifts and passions within you. So I want to start asking you, what do you want to scream from the rooftops? What do you feel would benefit everybody if they knew this thing? And it might be a few things, like the power of, human design, or, holistic wellness. Whatever it is, it's legit and it comes within you. So that's the first thing I just want to really say, is that we all have natural things within us, and we also have the ability to be wildly successful in our own capacity using those gifts. So for some people, it might be writing books, it might be writing children's books, it might be doing energy healing sessions and all these different examples, helping people with nutrition, whatever else. We all have our $1 million idea. We all have the capacity to be outrageously successful by helping others. And this is the other part of it that I wish people did know more of, or weren't limited to like, but I don't know how or whatever, because there are so many ways, especially with online, like everything from creating products or putting your designs on prints, or online coaching, or selling courses, selling passive products, hosting workshops, writing books. It's endless. Writing blogs, having sponsors, having YouTube channels, like it's literally endless. That's why we kind of go like, okay, pick your passion and then pick a way that you love to express yourself. Do you love being on video? Do you love writing? Do you love Instagram? Do you love anything else? Really, even standing on stage, like what do you love? How do you want to share your message? We put the two together and we create an intelligent plan. And I truly believe that we all have the potential to be wildly successful while making a massive impact in a way that feels so juicy and aligned that we wake up going, how is this even my life? Pinch me. Waking up to payments, waking up to people reaching out, waking up to people saying thank you so much for releasing that podcast episode, for putting out your book, for putting out that post on Instagram. Your last video was so powerful. Thank you for those words of wisdom that I needed on the right day. We all have this potential. And if this buzzes you inside, my love, you are meant to have some sort of, even if you don't want it to be a business at first, a platform to help other people, to share your message, to share your gift. So I believe that our actual purpose is not what we do for a living. Our purpose is to, first of all, for ourselves to grow and evolve. That's like the soul's purpose, meaning like we come here so that we evolve. It's like the highest purpose. But then we also come here to help humanity. And right now, you guys, humanity is in a bit of a rough place. There is a lot of fear. There is a lot of disconnect from spirit, from nature, from each other, from community. There's a lot of dis-ease. There's a lot of toxicity in relationships, in people, in food. There's a lot. We need help. And just because sometimes we're scared or we don't know how, there has to be a point, and this is where I'm going to call you forward. There's a point where it's like we cannot pinch off because we're scared. We cannot pinch off our gifts to this earth because there's people who need it just because we're scared. I had a mentor tell me a few years ago, I've shared this before, actually many years ago. She said to me, Talia, don't be a dick. And I was like, dude, once I recovered from that, I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not getting out there in your fullest way. You're pinching off. You're not going live. You're second guessing your work, and you're robbing us all from your goods, your magic, your gifts. You're robbing us all by dicking around. Like, stop it. And it was a little harsh, not really my style, but there's a time and a place when we go, okay, I am uncertain. I don't know how, or I don't know how to scale this business. I don't know how to branch into writing books. Everything is figure outable, but we just need to start with the fact that you already have gifts and you already have passions that the world needs, especially right now. So I'm going to ask you again, what do you want to yell from the rooftops? What do you wish the world knew? What do you feel is part of the solution to the world's problems? And again, like self-love, energy, connecting with spirit, living our highest purpose. Maybe it's about the frequency of money and how even if you're in debt, you can manifest money, and that's so freaking exciting and everybody needs to know that. Like, what is it that runs through you? And I'm going to help you uncover that more in Purpose Uncovered. But if you already have a business, it's when we really dial into our zone of genius. Our zone of genius is where we shine. We don't have to be everything to everyone. We just have to stand in our zone. And it's less about what should I put out there? What will people buy? And it's more about what do I feel called to share? What would be really exciting? What would be really fun? What feels aligned with my soul? What feels next? How can I share my message even more with an even bigger audience? And this is where we start to scale our business. We start to explode our business. There's lots of different components that go into exploding a business because we also need to be taking care of ourselves. Our own magnetism is so important, but that's more about business success. What we're talking about here today is when we get it right, when we align our gifts and our talents with our own dreams and desires and we frickin' go for it, we truly can create an exciting and fulfilling, inspiring life that helps others. And you may not feel called to be on stages or help millions of people. You may be content or excited to serve your community, to put on community events where you're gathering for women's circles or, whatever it is that you do. And that may be like just what lights your heart up to the fullest, or the thought of helping people all over the world through online or through your books, that may light you up to the fullest. And maybe you don't even know, that's fine. But whatever it is, we truly can create a life of impact and abundance by being in our zone of genius, by being in our gifts that are already there. Your gifts are already there. It's just learning how to learning how to turn your gifts into gold. Turn your gifts into a business blueprint or a way that you can help others on a bigger scale. So I've had clients that had no idea what they wanted to do, but they always had these like inspiring sayings. And their friends and family would be like, give me that wisdom. You always know what to say. So she literally started making t-shirts with her inspiring sayings on them, created an Etsy shop, and started selling her t-shirts. She's like, it was actually very easy. I was surprised how easy it was. I'm not even that good at tech, but I have got inspiring sayings for days. So there's always ways. There are always ways to get your gifts out there. And this is where the universe also really helps. Because once they see that you're ready and you're like, okay, I'm terrified, but I'm ready to scale this business or start this business or really go full in on my business, you start being aligned with the right mentors or maybe the right YouTube video that teaches you something you needed to know, the right mindset, the right people to teach you how to do it. And I'll never forget, it was 2016. I was in nutrition consulting. I was working in a clinic in a business, and I didn't want to do that anymore. The clients weren't aligned that were coming through the clinic. It wasn't really what I wanted to talk about. I didn't really want to talk about smoothies all day anymore. I wanted to talk about why we feel disconnected from our bodies, or why we binge eat or have eating disorders, or, hate our bodies. And I just couldn't do that under the license I had. So I'd met a friend who was a life coach, and I'd never heard about this at the time. And I'd heard the term life coach, but I hadn't seen anyone doing it, especially online. And all of a sudden it was like that. I want to do that, but helping people to break free of diets and into intuitive eating and learn to love their body. If any of you remember Food Buddha. And so I didn't have that business yet. And I remember going like, how the hell am I going to do this? And one day I went to go visit my dad, and it was at night, and I just couldn't sleep. And I pulled out my phone, and I'm looking at my phone, and it's after midnight. And all of a sudden on Facebook at the time, was this ad. And it said something about turning your gifts into an online business. And like, this is how, I don't even remember what the marketing was, but it was like how to turn your gifts into an online business, a 10-week program where we're going to like nail your purpose and do the strategy and get all up and going. And it's exactly what I needed, because I didn't really have much social media presence. I hadn't even really started. I just knew I wanted to. And I knew I didn't want to work in my 9-to-5 anymore. So this ad comes up from a beautiful woman, and I saw her, and there was something about her that was just magnetic. And I start looking into her. Turns out she was originally from my island, which is just a weird circumstance or coincidence. And I was like, I have to take this program. It was $2,500 US, which is like 3,000 or something Canadian. I did not have that money. I did not even frickin' know. I didn't even know this woman, but something in me was like, you are meant for more. Do it. Jump in. And I started going, oh my God, that's a lot of money. But I had some inheritance come through a few months before. I did actually have the money, but it was like, it was spoken for / I was going to save it. I was going to whatever else. I don't even remember at the time, but I was like, oh, am I going to really spend this and like spend all this money and jump in? Like, what am I even doing? Like online business? I had all the things. I had all the voices inside my head. But something inside me went, yes, you're meant for this. You're meant for worldwide impact online. You're meant for freedom in your schedule online. You're meant to help more people get your message out there, and this person's going to help you to get the business up and going. Funny thing is, now I offer businesses that are so similar to hers, except of course this stuff is coming from me and that was coming from her. But it's like getting people up and going, nailing their zone of genius, all this stuff. It's funny. It's just years later, almost 10 years later, full circle. Anyway. And I did it. I whipped out my credit card. I frickin' paid in full, which is something I'd never done before. And I'm like, let's frickin' go. Let's do this. And my life was forever changed. I believe it was a 10-week program. There was other soul sisters in that group, some people I'm still connected with, and I still see them doing their thing and support them. And it changed my life forever. Because I knew I didn't want to work in the 9-to-5 anymore. I knew that I wanted to create more freedom in my life. I knew that I wanted to help people my way. I could never have done a podcast in that clinic. I couldn't offer the services I wanted to, because I had to go with the main doctors and the main clinic and what they were doing, which was totally different. I was stifled, I was stuck, and I couldn't fully express myself. And I knew I was meant for more. I've always known I'm meant for more. I'm meant for a massive impact. Even my mom named me Talia because she thought it was going to be something that was like Talia, like share, like it's going to be something. And she didn't put that pressure on me, but I had that knowing too. Like, let's frickin' go. I didn't struggle for nothing. I didn't struggle my entire life, claw my way out, and then now learn how to thrive for nothing. We do this transformation journey to help others. Whether you have a business or not, you're still here to help others, to be that kind heart, to be that nurturing person, to use your empathy for good, to use your gifts for good. So in our purpose and with our gifts, they're going to be fluid and they're going to shift and change. I've done group programs. I've done memberships, of course, the podcasts. I have done, I'm doing currently courses via podcast, education via podcast. I've done lots of different things. I used to do YouTube videos. There's lots of different things I've done, in-person workshops, and that's going to like shift, and we get to have fun. We get to play. We get to shift it up. But the through line is the same. I am here to help others. I'm here to help others overcome what I suffered so deeply with, which was I used to hate myself. I had no self-worthiness. I knew about manifestation, but I had no idea how to actually do it because I wasn't vibrationally there. I've overcome an eating disorder, feeling disempowered, not being able to manifest money, again, not loving myself, not being able to commit to self-care or exercise. Like it goes on and on. The things I've overcome or have moved through enough to teach, every time I move through my next level, I move on to teach it. I created the podcast, and when I got to my first 100,000 downloads, I created a workshop called Magnetic Podcast, where I literally shared everything I did, how a podcast work, how to create episodes, how to know what your people need to hear. Like I went through everything. It's this crazy, like really valuable workshop because I'd done it. And now I'm like, fuck, okay, here we go. Let's teach others how to do it. And there's people now I teach how to create podcasts and how to create businesses because I did it. I'm not going to teach people how to become a millionaire before I'm a millionaire. I'm not going to teach people how to do something that I haven't actually learned how to do, but there's a lot I have learned how to do. So when we take your natural gifts and talents, we mix that with what you've actually been through, the things that you've overcome. We're getting now into Purpose Uncovered, so I'm going to save some of this for the event. But when we actually look at what you have gotten from, like how you've got from A to B, maybe you used to hate yourself and now you're learning deeply self-love. Maybe you used to be single forever and then you found, how to be a match for love and met your soulmate. I had a client back in the day that would help people transition in life when they've lost their parents. So she went through losing her parents, and at the end of taking care of her parents and all of that, she completely lost herself, then lost them, and didn't know how to move on with her life, didn't know how to be, her own person and navigate that next chapter. So she helped people after their parents have passed how to move on and move through. And it's literally because she did. And she was so busy, had such a bustling, busy, successful business because it was something that people needed. So what I want to say as I wrap this up is you already have natural gifts and talents that come from within you. They're honestly usually a blind spot. It's hard to see our own gifts and talents, right? It's hard to, a fish in water or whatever. It's hard to know you're in water when you're in water. Except for us, it's easy. But for fish, it's not. You get it. So there's these zones of genius that are usually blind spots. Things we can't see or can't totally nail. That's why it works so well when I work with people to be like, this is your gift. I'm also a human design reflector. P.S. You need a reflector in your life, especially for business, because I will reflect back to you your gifts. So you have these gifts within you that are already there. Combine that with your actual life experience, what you've overcome, all the books you've read, the courses you've taken. Even if you're not certified, the shit you've learned is valuable for others. You could learn a book and teach someone about that book. I'm not saying claim to be the author or rip off anything. I'm just saying you could teach someone something literally just because you read it. Like if someone goes, hey, you read this book, tell me about it, and you go through it, it's because you read it and now you can talk about it. It's the same when we learn things, when we have skills that we've developed, life skills we've developed, things we've overcome, things we've transformed. We can turn around and teach others. And then you start creating your own methodology for things, is where things get really exciting because you find your way to explain how to lean into self-care, how to start the next chapter of your life after you've lost your parents, how to navigate being single over 40 or being a single parent or healing chronic illness from your body. Literally, as soon as you overcome it, your soul is going, if you're ready, you're now meant to help others with this. That's just the way it works for old souls. You don't have to do that in this lifetime, but that is a highest calling for you. That is a potential for you because the universe gave you these gifts. The universe gave you these experiences and they weren't for nothing. You didn't just struggle and overcome and now you get gold stars. You get those gold stars, but now you get to actually help others that are going through it. And that shit is so rewarding, is so warming to the heart and to the soul that I personally can't imagine not doing that. So If you have a 9 to 5 and you have no, temptation to create your own business, totally fine. You still need to take those gifts and be that even more. Be that to your community, be that to your children. Really learn, what are my gifts? And really dive into that. And if you want to create a business, there's never been a better time with things like podcasts and all those other examples I mentioned. You could write a blog, you could write a book, you could put your powerful sayings on t-shirts. It's endless. You could even outsource your skills for other businesses. So I knew a beautiful soul who was a yoga teacher, and she decided to become a yoga teacher for corporate businesses. So she toured around in the day bringing her stuff, and she'd go to different corporate businesses. They would have like a half an hour yoga break. She would go teach yoga to corporate people because she really felt like that's what was needed in the corporate world, is like nervous system work, everything, the yogic philosophy, everything, the nourishment that comes from that, to take a quick break in the day. They were more productive. She sold it to the CEOs to be like, your people are going to be more productive. Mindfulness is shown to blah, blah, blah. They were like hired. She got massive contracts. She was super abundant, doing something she loved. So let's not make it too complicated, and just realize that there are endless ways that you can get your gifts out into the world, that you can make money doing what you love. And because of the internet, it's unlimited how much money you could make. And I don't just mean charging people $100,000 for an hour with you. I mean, like, you can sell courses. I almost every single day wake up to payments, because somebody's buying a course, somebody's paying for On the Path. Sometimes it's $20, sometimes it's $700, sometimes it's $1,500. But I wake up to payments almost every single day. But that 4 years ago was a vision I had. It was something I scripted. It was something I visualized, and I've now created it. Not by gouging people and charging $1 million for everything, but by having a simple, intelligent business system. And for those of you with a business, your system needs to be simple. Chances are it's being overcomplicated. It's really more about your potency and your magnetism, which comes when you're in your zone, in your gifts. So to wrap this episode up, we all have natural gifts and talents within us, and it's truly unlimited how you can use those gifts and talents. You can use them in a brick and mortar store. You could use them online. You could do like my yoga teacher friend, take them into corporate. You can do whatever calls your heart. It is truly unlimited with the internet, with how things work nowadays. There's literally never been a better time to create a podcast, to get yourself out there. And when you show up in your unique light, people are drawn to that. So I hope that this was informative to you, and I hope that you got some inspiration from this. I would love to see you in Purpose Uncovered, the 3-day event next week. Again, if you officially register, even if it's way later, if you're listening to this in a year, chances are it'll still be set up that if you register officially, I will still be able to send you the workbook. And stay tuned on the podcast. We've got some really exciting stuff coming up all about this. I am going to be running one of my signature programs called Inspired to Serve, where I take people through a step-by-step process of really nailing the physical and the energetic parts of the business. So it's nailing in and really focusing in on your zone of genius, really pinpointing what those gifts are, creating a simple business strategy that works so that we can wake up to payments, wake up to people seeing our stuff. We're not hunched over our computer all day. We're going to really get clear on who your ideal clients are, who is meant for your medicine. We're going to develop a rock solid success mindset behind it all, create some aligned offers, even just really simple things, and really get you going. If you already have a business, this is going to be a momentum injector. Because for me, I did about 6 years of just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, and it's worked. But the last couple years of being so much more intentional and actually following a very simple strategy has made all the difference to really scale it, to get out to more people, to have the stats going wild and having my stuff get out. And it is really simple, and it involves you being in your magnetism, knowing who you're talking to, knowing who is meant for your medicine. And then I'm going to help you get your stuff set up, like your social media, your email, your website, whatever you want to get up and going. You don't have to have all those things, but we're just going to get everything in a rock solid foundation that no matter where you are in your business, this will amplify. Because the more clear you get on who you are and who you're here to serve, and cut the fluff of everything you don't really want to be doing and really focus in on those potent money makers or the things that move your business forward, the things that get out to more people, you will nail everything and wrap it up in a nice little bow that we can start to even put things on autopilot. So this program, Inspired to Serve, it's not for somebody who has no business idea and no inspiration. It is for somebody who is within 5 years of their business or going through a big realignment in their business. Maybe you've completely shifted it, or you're really wanting to take it more seriously and get out there. That is what Inspired to Serve is. And I can't wait to see you there. If you want to get on the wait list, you'll get a discount when everything opens. It's not even open right now. There's no pressure, but just by getting on the wait list, you will have a wait list only price. So I'll put that below. So the free event is Purpose Uncovered. The group program that's going to be coming up is called Inspired to Serve. You can hop on the wait list. And then, as I mentioned before, pretty please, if you would please turn on those automatic downloads, subscribe to the show, leave a review. It really, really, really helps. It's something you can do that is free, that just takes a second of your time, and I so deeply appreciate it. Okay, my love, I cannot wait to see you in Purpose Uncovered next week and in the next episodes and all around town. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to this episode. It truly means a lot, and I really, really hope that it served you. I invite you to check out the show notes. There's all sorts of action down there, including the Awakening Her daily practice, which is a beautiful daily practice to process your emotions and manifest what it is that you want. In the show notes, you'll also find the Awakening Her Manifesting Apparel store, how to reach me on Instagram and Facebook, as well as some one-to-one opportunities. So make sure to check that out, and I'll see you in the next episode.